Welcome to the
My
podcast, bro. Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
The boy, the one, the only, the legend, the myth, the Berto GL is here blessing us with his grace, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for that introduction. I feel so special, brother. And I'm grateful to be here with you. You're the one, providing this opportunity, and mad props to you for just giving us a platform.
Let's go,
Appreciate
bro.
it.
You've done a lot of phenomenal things in your life. The people may not know. I think one of the really dope things that I wanted to dive into is like everyone has like a starting point. So I know, you started really humble beginnings. And now I look at you personally as like a huge success. So how did it start off, and how'd you get like where you're at now?
Appreciate it. Yeah, I started off, I'd say, just growing up in Beaverton, Oregon, and, went to, great high school, really good community. Growing up as a younger child, let's say like when I migrated from Mexico, 6 through like 10, didn't grow up in the best place, but I had migrant parents.
So you moved from Mexico when you were already like 6. How old were you?
I was 6.
6?
Yeah. Actually,
oh, wow.
I crossed the border illegally.
Let's go.
Yeah. Don't come get me.
I got the certs. Bro.
Yeah, I got the certs. I'm legal now.
We're good, baby.
My parents fought really hard to become residents and then permanent residents.
Nice.
So now citizens now.
Dope.
But it's a process, man. And mad props to everyone who's going through that, and it's not easy. So
yeah, that's a huge success in itself. Like when you think about your parents, come to a whole different country, learn a whole new language, get a whole, job in a crib or whatever. That's a huge success.
Yep. But like where I started, I guess, we didn't grow up in the best place, but very grateful. Just saw the work ethic of my parents coming here from Mexico and having, degrees and it meaning nothing here, and knowing that, a country like that back, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you really couldn't go anywhere. It's really hard to make it there.
Right.
But the land of opportunity and seeing their work ethic and everything they sacrificed to give me and my sister everything, I think that really instilled a lot into us. And even growing up in a tough place, I think what really helped is just they got me involved in the church and the community and like sports really early. So that kept me out of trouble. And then they moved as soon as we got our funds up, and they worked really hard to relocate us to a better area, I guess. And it put me in a better environment, and so it was really good growing up. Like, I guess, went to a really good high school, Beaverton, Oregon. Shout out to Westview High, and then
let's go.
Yeah, and then I just have great memories as a child growing up, and I had really good mentors and people around me, and my father wasn't really around a lot just because he was always working. My mom was like my everything, and then they divorced like when I was 13, 14, so I had to step up and financially help. Because he sort of just disappeared.
He left to get cigarettes and come home.
Yeah, right. But it's like I said, those things that happen to you, like they happen for you, not to you. And
100%.
You look back and you're like, you can be a victim about those things, or you can be like, dang, like maybe this is why I have instilled in me, like I can't like take a break, or like it's hard for me to like not work, or it's like that grind just gets instilled in you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like. Just grateful. I could talk about like all the negative things that like what could have held me from being here, or I could talk about those things as being positives of like I'm grateful for those things.
100%. There's I think it's I forget what book. I think it's in Think and Grow Rich or one of those Napoleon Hill books, but it talks about like how there's no pity for the rich man's son, and like really you're robbed if you don't come from an adversity, because that helps you grow and expand. And like it's like the fire that burns the desire, and like a rich man's son doesn't get the privilege of having that fire.
Absolutely. That's really fire. It's really good. I mean, it's good. I mean, it's sort of hard. I saw a lot of my friends that did grow up with a silver spoon in their mouth. They struggled getting old because they never really had to work for anything.
Right.
So going into that, got working really early, got into the workforce really early, still, graduated high school early, just wanted to get out of high school and work. Tried the college thing, and it just wasn't for me. While I was going to community college, I was working sales at Nike.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was in retail at Nike. Nike employee store. Shout out Beaverton, Oregon.
Let's go.
Let's go. Just shoe heads, all the shoe heads out there. And so being in that environment was really cool. And I realized I like talking to people. I like helping, serving people. And I got recognized a lot for being just good customer service. Got recruited there to become a rep for AT&T. So I was bilingual at the time, and they opened up a store that needed a lot of bilingual reps.
So cell phones?
Cell
AT&T?
phones, yep.
Okay.
So like the first, second iPhone, back in the day, 10 years ago. I feel like a dinosaur, bro. But yeah. It was like we have I just got the iPhone 15. I'm like, damn, that was 15 years ago.
Jeez, they're on season
insane,
15,
bro. Yeah.
I remember they weren't even out.
I know. So yeah, actually, it's 15 years ago, man. And so I was there part of like the second iPhone launch. I think I was there, and that really opened up my eyes to retail, like direct sales. You know, it was cool working at Nike, but it was more just an hourly job.
Right.
But being 19 years old and working at a corporate America cell phone environment, most of my coworkers were 30, 40 years old, and we're making six figures just slinging cell phones. And I was like, dude, I quit college right away because I'm making six figures selling cell phones.
Right.
And it was really cool. Worked my way up the ladder and got a lot of really good corporate training there, which helped me just be more structured and understand how to run a business.
Right.
But then I realized early in my career, I'm away from family on Black Fridays. I'm away from family on days that I shouldn't. And I'm just even if I work myself way up to the top to corporate, I'm still stuck to these handcuffs. You know? I think I just always desired and wanted something more than just working behind a desk or working behind, a kiosk or working behind, but it was cool because when I was there, I learned how to manage people. So it was
a major skill.
Major skill set. And older people that are older than you that maybe not respect you because you're so young.
Right.
But as I realized, it doesn't really matter your age. If you put in the work, you can get put in any position and 100%. Lead by example. You could teach people. It doesn't matter what age, where you're at. So
facts.
Yeah, and then from there, I just wanted something, so I started just trying different things. I wasn't really too into personal development at that point. It was more just corporate. Mm-hmm. And then I found my first network marketing company at 22, 23, and just I think a customer came in and was like, he was a local friend. He's like, hey, just sign up for $100 this network marketing company. Kept bothering me, and I was like, all right, here's $100, sign me up. And then I started getting on the calls and the three-way calls and stuff, just listening. And I'm like, okay, these guys are starting to blow up and they're starting to make some money. And so I was like, okay, might as well just use my warm market, see if they're interested in this product.
Yeah.
And, from one day to the other, I actually started making income. And I was like, oh, this is cool. The product's working. A month later, I'm making in the network marketing company. I just always had a big network from working at AT&T and just being when I was younger, I used to throw big parties and just always like to network and connect with people, and use my warm market from 1 month to another. I went from working at AT&T to quitting at AT&T. Told my boss, I was still a great friend of mine. I was like, I'm making more money in network marketing than I am here at my 9 to 5. So it doesn't make sense for me to stay here. And he couldn't believe it either. You know what I mean?
He's like, put me on.
Yeah. He's like, put me on. He actually signed up too. I signed up everybody, man. It was funny. But it was I had a lot of haters. When you start something new, it's like, don't do it, whatever. But I'm so glad I did do it because it put me on to personal development, like Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all the books that a corporate America job isn't going to tell you to read. Right. You know what I mean? So it's those books opened me up to personal development, leveling up, mindset. Of course, my network marketing company fell apart 3-4 months later.
Really?
Yeah. But it was awesome because it just showed me what you could do, how to have your own business. What was possible, recruiting, and met a lot of cool people. Through that network marketing company, I met our mutual friend, Stephen Cohen.
Oh, wow.
Which shout out Stephen Cohen, why I'm in solar. And it's funny, that's how all the docs get connected. Yeah. Just saying, hey, I'm tired of this. I'm going to try something different.
That's crazy.
If it fails, it connects you to something else.
100%. Yeah, there's no such thing as wasted effort.
No, I don't
ever.
think so. Yeah.
So you were doing the network marketing, and then so it fell apart 3 months right after you quit your sales job, and you're like, oh shit, what do you do now?
Yeah, so I called my good buddy who was my manager at AT&T. They all had transitioned over to Comcast internet and cable sales. Okay. And they were there's always waves of different things that make good money. Yeah. So they all moved there, and so I jumped on that and was making good money. And at that point, I'm still in contact with all my network marketing buddies,
Right.
and they're
So
all
you're
like,
selling them cable.
I'm selling everybody cable now, but like I'm still in contact with all these people who were making money in my network marketing company, but they're all looking for like that next come up, that next network marketing company.
Right.
And we tried a couple, but nothing never hit. It was just all like, I'd say it was all built on just like sand. Nothing was a solid foundation. So I was like, what can we do? And so finally found direct sales like water. It was Enagic, water ionizers.
Yeah.
And I'm big into health, huge into working out, health. It linked in. That was more of a direct sales network marketing company. It had a physical product, real product, and something tangible, and started putting people on. And I did really well in that, but it was just like I didn't and made good income, but it still wasn't good enough for me to quit Comcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so you were doing Comcast and
Enagic,
at the same time?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And then I found a good buddy who says, you're really good at selling water and you're passionate about it. How about you come sell whole house water filtration systems?
Okay.
When you go to a market that's hot because the water is really bad. And Oregon at that time wasn't really bad and there wasn't a need for it, even though there is now. But Vegas, the desert out here, water's horrible.
Water's bad.
So I came out here 2017, 18.
For the water?
For the water to sell.
Wow, that's what brought you out here?
Door-to-door water, yeah.
What?
Yeah. And at this time, I was seeing Steven, he was actually doing a door-to-door solar.
Yeah.
And I was seeing him kill it, crush it. But I was like, it can't be, it's too good to be true. I think all of us, whether industry you're in outside of solar, because it's such a great product, you just hate on it. You're just like, it's like, that's not, it's too good to be true.
Yeah, that's not
it's like,
real.
And I just see him leveling up, buying his family a house, buying a Tesla. I'm like, so I'm just like still, and obviously he's a great friend, so I'm supporting him, he's supporting me. And it's funny, they shut down. He actually moved back to Vegas when I moved to Vegas because they had shut it down a couple years before, prior, I think 2015.
Right.
So we actually ended up in Vegas at the same time. And then when we met there, we just continued to just grow our relationship, and one thing led to another, and I went from selling water, connected with him, saw his team grow, and I was like, I want to be a part of this. And it just one thing led to another, and I started doing solar with him, and it just helped me out. The story behind that's crazy. Like, we can dig deep. It just, I was in a dire need of actually getting income because my business partner and me had a fallout with the water filtration system. So it was either go home or it's like, dang, okay, now I have to do solar. Let me hit up Steve.
Yeah.
And like, that's why I'm forever grateful for that, man. Cause like, he just gave me the plan, the layout, went to work, had my car repoed at that time.
Jeez.
My fiance's grandma had passed away. I sent like my last penny to fly her out. Actually, I actually borrowed money from my best friend. And then I had my new apartment that wasn't furnished, negative bank account. I didn't know how I was going to pay rent the next month. And then I was like, it's either I go try solar and do this, or I go back home. And I don't want to go back home and look like a failure. So
yeah.
I was like, called Steve, and Steve came through. He's like, go knock doors. Here's the pitch. Your first 5 deals, and I'll close them for you, and you'll get some income. And I was like, let's rock it. So it was like middle of July, car got repoed. I had no other option but to go knock doors and knock around my area, my neighborhood, and use my legs as my car. And that's my vehicle.
Bro, that's fucking inspiring, bro.
Yeah.
Out of every adversity comes an equal or greater seed.
Yes,
so
sir.
that's so dope that like you were under pressure, and that's like what creates a diamond. And I think that's necessary to really create diamonds. So like, had you not been put in that position, like it might have never let you down this road. And this road. So fast forward now, you've built, hundreds of sales reps, huge teams. You do all of the installs for the Pacific Northwest Freedom Branch,
Sir.
Doing it super major, bro.
Thank you, man.
So what would be like, if you could tell yourself, when you got all that repo stuff happening, if you could go back in time and tell them now from this point, like what would be some maybe tips that you could give them to fast track the success? Not that like, I think you have to go through everything, but what's like someone that's in that position that could get some valuable nuggets from you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're going to join an opportunity, there shouldn't be a option B. Like, I think it's like, if you're going to do something and you're going to try, it's like commit fully to it. I think a lot of people come into direct sales or whatever it is that they're trying and they want to level up their income. And they come in it like already thinking like having an exit plan, or if this doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But like, it's like you have to fully commit. You have to fully dive in and just be like, I'm going to give this my all before you can, say like, okay, well, maybe this isn't for me,
Right.
but like fully commit.
Yeah. Well, and I think that like if people I feel like that are in a situation like you just explained, because solar door-to-door sales is hard and it's uncomfortable and it's like you just get beat up, especially in Vegas stores. So when you are out of like such a deep necessity to make it work, then like you're able to push through that discomfort, I think, where like if someone's kind of comfortable, you know what I mean, they got like a whatever for
Meets opportunity.
let's go Nipsey.
And you're right. And like it's like all the network marketing that I did, working at my 9 to 5, doing the network, like the water, and then just finally finding solar. I think it was like, okay, well, like I finally got, like, that whole time when I did all those ventures, it was like I was trying to find the one that would finally help me level up, that I could put my same energy, but I didn't give up. I think a lot of people give up. They try their first company, or they try their first outside the box job or business, right? That isn't a W-2. That's like all commissions or whatever, and they just quit right away because they don't find the success. But it's like you also got to do the legwork, and like I love that. It's like the real work's done when no one's watching, or like when you're not, like what work were you doing when you're not knocking the doors, or what work are you doing when you're not showing up to the sales meetings, like all the legwork that you're doing, like preparing yourself to when you get out on the sales field, or you're out in the field. So
yeah, 100%. I agree with you. I think that the level of like how you work on yourself, because you can't take that away. Like that's how I feel about reading and stuff, and that's why I'm such an avid reader, is because like regardless of how the marketplace reacts, I know that like my consciousness is expanding, so there's no way that I could be at a lower level, like, because everything comes from internally, God or whatever your belief system is. So like if everything is within, and the within creates the world without, like then that means that no matter what happens outside of you, as long as the value's inside of you and you keep expanding your consciousness and you have faith in your belief, like then it'll manifest. And sometimes you need those catastrophes that like put you up against the wall to like propel you. That's like the pressure, like a rocket, like it compresses you, and then it's like like, you know what I mean? So I think that's super necessary and essential. Bro, so now you're, killing it all over the world. So I think, I consider you super successful. Like I said, you got multiple teams. You're, all over the United States. How do you, balance family life? I know you're a great father, great husband. Your wife's super supportive. Your family, like, totally understands, I think, the mission that you're going towards. And, how do you cultivate that, like, shared vision with your family?
That's a great question. For a long time, especially like going into a business that requires like all of you, especially like at any moment, like your reps need you, your managers, your leaders, everyone needs you. You want to be accessible to everybody. I think, and trying to find that balance with your family and like being there for them as well. I think for a lot of years I tried to find that balance, but I could never find it until I realized, I did a lot of inner work and went to a lot of workshops, and just every year I try to go through a seminar or something that I can be around other people who are trying to find that same balance as I am, or like ask them questions. But I think what I've realized in talking to my wife, I think we realize there is no balance. You will never find the balance. I think there's just times where you need to put certain energy, especially the seasons, because the business that we do, I mean, I'm sure with you as well, you have a season, it fluctuates, right? Time to work in your business or on your business, right? So with family and business, I think there's just times where, like, I've learned to just be more organized with my wife, and knowing like these are the times out of the year where I'm going to dedicate more time into the business. And so like, let's make sure that we're still pouring into each other, but knowing that we have a year-end goal that we need to meet. And so it's like when we're both on the same page about that goal, no one's holding resentment or grudges when I'm not there with them, or like when I'm not present with them. But also what I've gotten from other people, because that's actually funny you asked me that, because I'm always asking that question to others. I want.
That's huge.
I feel like you'll never find it. It'll never be perfect.
Yeah.
But you'll find a rhythm
Yeah.
with your wife and your kids because it's so important. Like me being away from the family, it's like they charge me up. They fill my cup, right? So in order for me to pour into others, like they need to fill my cup as well. And I also need my own personal time.
Right.
But I feel like too, also, just as like with my sales teams, I have like incentives that I have with them, and like we travel a lot, and we go to Hawaii, we go to Puerto Rico, we like, hey, we're working for this trip, or we're working for these prizes. I try to make my family a part of that as well. So like now every quarter, so every 4 months, I'll take a quarterly trip with my family. It doesn't have to be somewhere far. We can just go to the beach, like on a weekend. But like they're looking forward towards something now too, right? And then I try to do a monthly like trip as well. That could be just going like getting a hotel maybe like 2 blocks from your family's house and just like spending time with them somewhere where the kids can be at, or like the little water park or something. So it's like you have these little inner tiny times with your family through the year, but it's like they're looking forward for those times as well. But you're also scheduling that time with them just like you're scheduling time with your customers or your business. So I think that's been helping a lot.
That's fire. I mean, I think you're right. There's not really like an answer to it. And I think what helps is like the shared vision, like you said, like having a goal that you guys are both like super bought into, and that, you guys are both willing to sacrifice to get there. Because for her, I'm sure it's like the sacrifice of not having you around is like, just more to do with the kids and, stuff like that. And it's hard to get through that without like having that same shared goal. You know what I mean? So I think it's important to connect on that. And that's something that like I struggle with too. You know what I mean? Like just like the family is there, but also like, the goals that the lifestyle we're trying to live requires like certain sacrifices for me. And, but I think, being present, right? Being present with your family when you can be. And, I agree, bro. So family's good and healthy and strong. Any more kids on the way?
No more. I don't think my wife's like, after the second one, she's just dynamite, man. Full of energy. Love her. Like our first one's calm, chill, but the second one's totally opposite, which is I love because they balance each other out, especially when they get older. But this one just definitely threw us off as far as like it took a little longer, like we were talking about, to find our rhythm with this one, just to fit her into us. We were actually around her schedule, like it's like she's the one. She's the one.
She came.
She came.
She's
the one.
bro.
She's the one. So like with this one, I think like it's like I don't want to say never, but it's like we're more of like we're not as eager to have a third one. You know what I mean? We're just like we're
good, bro.
We're happy. We're happy.
Family.
We're happy family.
Bro.
So, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love being a dad. Yeah. So, all right, you got poppin' sales team, families whole. What are your goals for 2024? We're fresh on the year. What are you trying to really like? What's the vision for family, business, and yourself?
Absolutely. So every year, I think for the last 3-4 years, as the business has grown and we've gotten bigger in our organization and we're leveling and helping people level up, I think it's always like about like how many people can we get in the business? How can we grow? Like explode, boom, 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 boom. This year, I just really like at the end of the year, me and my wife just ask each other like really important questions, like what have we learned? What has gone better? What can we get better at? We just do self-analyzing with each other, find our weakness and our strengths. I also try to do that with my business partners, people I'm really close with. But the one thing that came to mind was like, okay, it's important to bring people into your business. It's important to grow your business. But like for me, what really stood out this year is quality. So it's like for me this year, I feel like I've spent a lot of years managing a lot of people, but not necessarily worrying about the quality of people that like are in your business, just trying to help everyone. Where I feel like this year I'm really focusing and doubling down on just me becoming a better quality person. And I feel like by default, I'm going to attract more quality people into my business. Because for me, it's more about I don't necessarily want everyone in my business. I just want the right people in my business. Yeah. Because I feel like there's people who give you energy and take your energy. Right. For a long time, people are so desperate and so hungry to just recruit anyone into their organization or their business. But sometimes those people can be hindering you, holding you back. And also not having the right standards in your business could potentially be limiting other people in your business from leveling up, and they don't want to even actually work with you or be around that, or just you're capping other people's potential because there's people around them who are just like don't have standards. So standards and quality, that's this year as far as like leveling up and me pouring into myself so I can pour into others and just bring quality people into to the business.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah.
That's solid. So, what? I mean, again, bro, just to reiterate, like, and I think that anyone who's has any level of success, like, probably don't think you're there, right? Or like you feel like you're far away. But to me, like, there's a level that I look up to. Like, you could connect with anyone on spot, and like your recruiting game is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I think you're a huge success, like, compared to me, even, like, you know what I mean? So, like, what are, like, things that you do to cultivate that level, that energy, that,
Yeah, I think we all battle with imposter syndrome, for sure. Like, we all, like, should I be here? Or, like, am I really, do I deserve this level of success? Or, like, I think it limits ourselves, too, sometimes. Like, oh, like, you see where you could be at, but, like, it's like you limit yourself because you're like, oh, it's like, once I get there, will I be able to handle it? Or, like, what will I do with it? So it's like I'm more comfortable just being where I'm at, right? You know what I mean? We all deal with it, but I really appreciate that compliment. And it's funny, we were having lunch earlier, and I told you, like, it's crazy. Every person that I'm really close with, like yourself, you're one of my, really close friends that I consider, just not just an acquaintance, but a really good family friend. We got to spend some time in Hawaii together, hang out with each other's family. But you were like, all of us always compliment each other, which is awesome. And we're like, you're the GOAT. No, you're the GOAT. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like earlier I told you, it's like we're just a mirror of each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're just like, when I see the people who I'm around, the law of of who you're around with, and the people that are in your inner circle, and it's just like you're mirrors of each other, and so I feel like I'm able to connect with people, and I'm able to answer your question. I'm able to, like, because I feel like one of my biggest strengths is empathy. I like to feel for people and meet them where they're at, and every day I'm a huge advocate for prayer and for seeking a relationship with God. And like you said, there's always something bigger than you, your creator. Shout out Jesus Christ. Let's go. Jesus Christ. My Lord, my Savior. That's my faith. And so like when people ask me like, what's your religion? I don't like religion. I'm a follower of Christ.
Yeah.
I think religion pushes people away from having a relationship with Christ. But anyways, that's a whole other topic. But like, I think like just humbling myself and reading scripture and like, get into Proverbs. If you don't know where to go, get into John, get into like just if you don't believe in Jesus, just learn his story. Because he just treated people really well. He didn't think he was better than anybody. He came, he was born, very humbly from, a poor family. He was born in a barn. So it's like he didn't come, he rode a donkey. You know what I mean? So it's like this guy
the donkey was the Cadillac of that time, though. Hey, the donkey was the Rolls Royce of that time. They say he wore a garb, but the garb was the, like, fitted suit of that time. He was living nice.
Yeah. The point is he was super humble. You know what I mean? He got a rented Cadillac.
No, I love like the story of Jesus. Again, I'm not like a Christian. My wife is Jewish. My sister's Mormon. I grew up Catholic. I went to Catholic school.
Dope.
So I've seen a lot of like the intricacies of like organized religion. And Jesus is a really dope story because, Jesus was a Jew and he got his superpowers from the Torah. And I know you like study the Torah as well, and like but he used that and like exactly what you're saying. It's like was such an exemplified version of like how you should live, which could be like categorized as the Christ because like he had such strong faith that he could turn water to wine. He had such strong faith and belief he could be like, here are your crops, and they grew overnight. And the thing is like, we all have that same power that Jesus has. If we did all the things that Jesus did, like, like worshipped and had the faith and dedicated your whole life to be serving of people like that, we're all the child of God. Like, he wasn't the only one. We're all children of God is what I think. I don't know.
No, we're all his children. That's what it says in the Bible. But obviously, in my beliefs and reading the Bible is that he was the chosen one to come and be sacrificed for us. But
right.
To land the plane on the question on like how I can connect with people, I feel like he just gives me such a good example of like just don't hold grudges.
Right.
Be forgiving. If people don't accept you for who you are, move on.
Right.
Don't take it personally. and like God, like Jesus didn't take it personally. He just kept it moving. If he
Right.
didn't, if he was there to spread the word and his message, and if people didn't deny
Yeah.
him, and he even did things and miracles,
And
and
he's
people
like,
still denied him,
right.
all good, keep it moving. And
He's
he had
like,
followers, right? He
right.
had people who followed him, and he had the ultimate mastermind,
Right. He
right?
said,
Through that
Father.
mastermind, what happened? His
Right.
believers
Exactly.
kept his mission and kept going.
100%.
So like I feel like the reason that I can connect well with people is just because I feel like he humbles me, and I use his example to like just treat people with love, care, connect with them. And my mom just always amplified that in me. She was such a cool example of what it is to put others' needs before you, and help others. But also, like as you get older, you start realizing it's very important to take care of yourself as well
Yeah.
before you take care of before you can take of anybody else.
Anybody, bro.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, that's we could start a podcast or something just on religion and all. Like you could just go, and then we could
Yeah,
talk
you go
about
deep on that.
and then we could talk about how like all these personal development books get their source from the Bible, which is crazy, but
Yeah.
it's like origins.
Well, and it's all like the same. It's all the same entity, and like it's all the same like bigger thing, and it's just like scientists will describe it or name it something different. They'll call it like the universal subconscious mind or the
Mhm.
ether, or vibratory frequency that we're all tapped into.
Mhm.
And Christians, it's Jesus. You know what I mean? The freaking Jewish, it's Hashem. You know what I mean? It's like Allah. It's all the same. Like really, we're just like humans trying to interpret like how we want to like describe it or say it, like what we believe in. But ultimately, like if you remove all the labels, we're all talking about the same thing. You know what I mean? Everyone has different rituals and practices on how to connect to that higher frequency, God, or whatever you want to call it. But ultimately, it's the same. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it's really good for people to dive in and get to know. Don't be limited to like, I guess, one thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I think religion teaches you this is right,
Yeah.
and everything else is wrong, right? So like I connect really well with you and other friends who have different beliefs because I don't turn what you do down or make you look like say, hey, I'm right,
Yeah.
you're wrong. It's just
There's-
encouraging, like, hey, go keep seeking the truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? I found my truth. It works for me.
Right.
And I have examples of how God's worked in my life and testimonies of why, like, I'm so convicted in Him.
Right.
And so, like, that's why I'm where I'm at. But, like, I feel like just like in sales, I can't convince you to believe in Jesus or God or Buddha or whoever you want to believe in. Because, like, you're just convincing, just like in sales, I can't convince you. I can convince you to why solar is awesome. But then the next guy coming in who's selling propane or gas can convince you on why solar sucks.
But it's all energy.
And you'll be like, oh yeah, solar sucks. Oh no, and then propane's the greatest thing in the world or whatever. But like until you have to find that, I feel like divine intervention and connection to like what the truth is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
I love that, and yeah, bro, it's all the same. We're the same.
We bleed the same.
It's the same. We're the same.
We die the same.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah. We're brothers and sisters.
We're all. And like another way to look at it, how I was just having this conversation last night is, if you think of a cell, like inside a cell, we have like billions of cells inside of us. There's little organisms, and they're all like happening and keeping us alive and shit. And if you zoom out like far enough and you look at the planet and you imagine that as a cell, we're all inside the cell creating a living organism. You know what I mean? So it's like we're all in this organism, like a bunch of little cells. We're all the same. We're all connected, living in the same experience of this reality.
It's funny you say that because I was having a conversation with Steve. We went to dinner the other night, but it's just like I feel like people who have a life that they keep attracting the right things into their lives, or they keep like they have a great relationship with their family, their friends. It's just everything's going well in their life. Obviously, it's all perspective, right? But it's like obedience, right? And so like I feel like why the Bible works so well for me is because it gives you a set rule of things that like the world has made those things look like they're things that are holding you back and keeping you from the freedom that the world gives you. But like for me, obedience gives me freedom. Like discipline gives you freedom.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
the
I mean?
irony in it.
So it's like if you don't believe in God or Jesus or whatever, but if you just do the 10 commandments, like you don't lie, cheat,
Right.
steal, you're not envious of your neighbor, you don't look at your neighbor's wife, you don't envy his things, you don't kill people. You just do those basic
Yeah.
things. Your life will be really
A lot
a
better.
lot better. You know what I mean? So it's like there's nothing negative in the Bible. Like people feel like those things are like they're trying to restrain them from like
Yeah.
oh, you won't have freedom, right? But it's like you look at I love the Bible because it's like live opposite of what the world is doing. And so it's like an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like do opposite
literally.
of everybody was doing because what everyone's doing, they're just stuck in like a matrix or in a place of like no progression
Right.
or
It's not fulfilled.
it's not fulfilling. They're always complaining. They're going to the bar on the weekend because they hate their job.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's everybody. Some people are
Right.
really fulfilled by their regular 9 to 5s or their regular life.
Right.
I'm talking about majority of the people who aren't fulfilled and are just they hate their day-to-day life or they don't have purpose in their day-to-day life.
Purpose is the big thing. And I mean, you could lose it as an entrepreneur too. Like,
Huge.
you know what I mean? Like this last year I broke my wrist and so I didn't work for like 3 or 4 months and like thankfully, you know, thank God I had like the resources to be a bit able to not work for 3 or 4 months. But because shit was so easy, I didn't have to do anything and I was just like watching TV and fucking healing or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I got lost in the sauce, you know what I mean? And it was hard for me to bounce out of that.
Yeah.
I just like let myself go essentially, like, you know what I mean? I wasn't reading, I wasn't meditating, I wasn't exercising. I was just, you know, and I lost my sense of purpose.
I didn't even
like,
know that.
Yeah, bro.
You did a really good job at like
staying afloat.
staying afloat.
Yeah,
I
mean,
appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing that.
But yeah, it was not
Yeah.
cool. I mean, our business suffered a ton because I
Yeah.
let like everybody else manage it. And obviously, nobody cares as
Yeah.
much as you do,
Yep.
and so there was that. Like my identity financially was like hit, and then physically my identity was hit, and like so I had to like really overcome and like dig deep, and obedience is a great word for it, to be like, okay, as long as I'm like super strict on doing these things, I'll get my energy back. And I did, but it was hard, like, you know what I mean? And so like
hard.
people get lost in the sauce because it's
Yeah.
easy. It's really easy to get lost in the sauce,
Yeah.
and then it's really hard to get out of it.
Yeah.
And obedience, again, just going back on that word, I love it is that's what it takes. It's what it takes, is just being so strict, so disciplined, and like hating it, bro. Just being
Yeah.
like, this fucking sucks, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it.
Yeah.
Gonna feel better after,
Yeah.
like a cold plunge or
It's
something.
crazy.
You know?
It's crazy.
So
It's crazy, bro. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, maybe we should start a clothing brand, Obedience.
uh,
Instead of obey, obedience.
That's dope,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
So.
yeah.
So 2024 is looking great for you
Thank
so
you.
far. I think you're off to a great start.
Thank you.
What's like a 5-year plan? Like what would you, how do you visualize yourself, you know, 5 years from now? Like
Yeah.
what would you have done,
Yeah.
achieved,
Yeah.
all of the above?
I think you hit it when you're like, you find that it's like, why am I doing this for? Like you hit a plateau. It's like when you're like playing a video game and you reach that last level and you're like, okay, this is boring. Like
New game.
new game, right? I feel like I've with this, it's like we're in a real life. Like this is a video game. Your next levels to hit, but you can't get stuck on like getting comfortable. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like there's so many levels that I haven't hit yet, and that I want to hit with my friends, and unlocking the new chapter of life or new things. But like what I really strive for is seeing other people win. That's my biggest thing. Like I love bringing the newest person in my business and seeing them fulfill and accomplish just as much as them being able to fill their fridge or fill their mom's fridge and being comfortable as far as like not stressing about bills anymore and setting goals and wanting to be a better person, like and not stressing about bills or finances anymore or putting their family or their loved ones in a better situation. You know, recently I had one of my leaders buy his mom a car because she couldn't afford one.
Oh, I saw that.
So it's like things like that. I'm just like, how can I go create more of those stories? You know, like that's the most fulfilling thing for me. It's like if I can help him now go ripple that effect to other people. I guess my 5-year goal is like, how many people can I help in these next 5 years while I have this vehicle of solar to create those stories? Because then I want to look back and be like, we didn't waste that opportunity. We helped as many people help them become financially stable or put them in a better place. And more than anything, I say is like it's important to help people make money in our industry, but it's more important to help them become a better person. And how you do that is by, I'd say, is like one, it's lead by example. So it's cool to tell someone, hey, be a better husband, be a better father, be a better son. But it's like, if I'm not doing it, they're not going to follow it. Right? So it's like obedience again. Right.
Yeah.
But two, also is like, make sure that I'm leveling up, growing, investing in myself, reading books, audiobooks, giving that information to them, because then it starts trickling. So it's like, if when solar is all gone or this is done in the 5 years, I want to look back and I want people to be like, awesome, yes, I made $1 million, or I made $500,000, or I cleared 6 figures every year I worked with you, but like, I'm a better person. I'm a better husband. I'm a better father. I'm a better son. But if they have just money to show for it, then I feel like I didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
You know, you can go make money anywhere.
Yeah. And like the thing is, like, going back to like what I tell my guys too is like, I could give you $1 million right now, but if you didn't have the mindset to like utilize it properly, you'd be in a worse off situation. You know what I mean? So you have to expand your consciousness to be able to learn how to become that person, and so that when you do have that, you can operate, properly without losing it or killing yourself or harming anybody. You know what I mean? Because that's like a real superpower. You know, you give someone, like, if I gave you a Ferrari, you know what I mean, when you were 19, you would have been like, hit the wall, and that could have been the end of your story. You know what I mean? So if you're not ready for the superpower, then it could hinder you instead of expand you. So
absolutely, bro.
I think what you're just doubling on what you're saying is like helping people expand to like reach the financial goals and then go beyond that.
Yeah, sir. And I think by default, me doing that, I'll be where I want to be.
Yeah.
And to be specific on what you're asking, like, where do I want to be? I just want to be with friends like you and just be going into investments and just being like, hey, like our mission is to just like, I want to be an angel investor too. Just give and fund things to people who need it. Like maybe a kid broke his leg on a football scholarship and now he can't go to school. It's like, here you go. Or like a family in need that's about to lose their house, and it's like they're in your community. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, here you go. Things like that where like you can go in and be an angel investor. I love what Napoleon Hill, and I think Napoleon Hill said it. He's like, I want to spend one third of my life earning as much money as I can so I can spend the rest of it giving it away.
Yeah, I think that was Andrew Carnegie.
That's Andrew Carnegie, actually, yeah. One of the goats.
One of the
goats.
Original
that
ones.
was Andrew Carnegie.
But so I mean, just kind of like double back. I think solar right now is a great opportunity for everybody involved in it. What do you think is after solar for you?
I think just continuing to be in a platform or in a space where I can add value to people and help them. I would love to be a consultant where I can come into companies and help their teams grow and just get paid to go and see what's wrong with your business as far as like, especially a team business.
Yeah.
That is if AI hasn't taken over and crazy stuff.
They sell now. All AI sells you everything.
Exactly. But I love working with sales teams, man, or organizations.
Yeah.
And I like whatever it is. I feel like there's, you can go into Intel or Microsoft, and regardless if it's not a sales team, it's an IT team,
right.
and they have to work together to accomplish the mission.
Right.
But I feel like sales does such a good job where you have to build the team and find the same mission and find out the different dynamics of people on your team, the ages where they're at, and find that way where they can all work together.
Yeah. So this is kind of like this is just an inspired question from like what you were saying. So what if you're like you have someone on your team and they're like struggling, like what do you do to kind of like help them get up to speed or build some momentum?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is like as being in sales for such a long time, when I struggled, it's really easy to managers to come and just tell you what you're doing wrong. But they don't dig deep, and like one is what I do is I have empathy for that person. I find out where they're at, like what's going on, dig deep. Something could be going on in their life,
right?
You know what I mean? And also go back to the standard that I have in the office, right? Because it's really easy.
Oh, that's right.
It's easier to manage systems and people, but it's also very important to care about people and what's going on. Because sometimes you might lose somebody just because you're so focused on like just what they're not doing, rather than like finding out that maybe they just needed support or help with something, and it helped them get back on track in their personal life. You know what I mean? Maybe like their mom just got chemo, but they're not telling you, and they're like struggling. You're like, you're not hitting your numbers. Get on the doors. This. But it's like, hey, like, so I try to find a personal connection with that person. Like, hey, manager hat off, leader hat off. Like, hey, how you doing?
Right.
What's going on with you? You know what I mean? And I feel like when you come from it at that point, then it's easier to find out what their needs and wants are, because then your needs and wants in the office are just as important as theirs. And then like you can find a way to like okay, well, if you're willing to like not help me, help you, we can both help each other and we can get there. And then all the um, all the other things will come into place, like the like it's easy to teach someone to pitch on the doors or to do the practical things, right? To tell them, but they're not going to stick and they're not going to do the practical things, do the pitch, the knocking, or do that if they're not, if their mind's not there,
Right.
right? So I feel like you got to get them in the right head place and then see what's going on. So hopefully that answers your question.
So get them in the right headspace and then apply the practicality.
Then apply the practicality. Practicality is huge. Like doing the basics. I think a lot of people forget the basics, but sticking to the basics and then also continue to just find different ways to improvise. Don't ever get comfortable. Find different ways to improvise and keep adding value to your team, because it's like if you do the same thing every year, it's like it's important to do the basics, but it's also important to improve and find new ways to get better for your team.
100%. Yeah, I agree. So how do you provide more value to your team as you're like leveling up? Like what's a
biggest thing is to let them know I don't know it all, right? I know what's worked for me.
Yeah.
I'll help you, but I'll bring outside resources, or I'll pay for, courses and resources that will help my team. And I like to find other people in different, regions or different areas of either in solar or outside of solar, pest control, direct sales and TV or whatever, and those leaders. And like, I'll invite them to the office and like share value to my team. Like let them know what's working for you. But for me, I would say just like we stick to the basics. We consistently work on practical training, which is very important. And just consistently just work on it. Like Kobe just consistently worked on just the basic things, which were free throws, dribbling the ball. You don't have to be fancy. Eventually that stuff will come, but just work on the principles. If you get really good, like what did Bruce Lee say? Man that has kicked the same kick 10,000 times is more dangerous than a man that knows 10,000 kicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's just
master the basics.
Master the basics. People don't want to master the basics. I think that's
why do you think that is?
They just want to get to that like next level, like or like they want to just, I don't know. It's crazy.
The basics is all there is, bro. There's only like a handful of things that you could do that'll get you there anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, okay, hold on. I had another question I was going to ask you in regards to... Oh, this is another headline I could name the video, is how do you build an 8-figure sales team?
Yeah. Number one, it's funny, I did a training on Think and Grow Rich. Have a burning desire. Like, right? Have a burning desire of like, no matter the failures, what happens, like you're gonna figure it out and do it. 2, find the right vehicle. Right, you have to find the right vehicle that's going to help you get there. Right, it's a lot harder. I'd say it's like I'm going to make 8 figures and I'm going to start at McDonald's tomorrow. Right, you could do it, work your way up. Maybe work your way up where you like save enough money to buy a franchise. But it's like, okay, you can do it, but it's like, what's your timeline?
Right,
find a timeline. You know what I mean? Yeah. Find a timeline. Look for people who are doing it and surround yourself around those people, so you can be law of association. Like, okay, I'm learning from that person, this and that. Find the right team, and I feel like you'll attract the right team if you just become the person that you want to attract and be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like for me, when I came into solar, I already had manager experience. I already had all this experience from AT&T and have done this bit. My mentor Steve, he came in, he's like, hey, just humble yourself. I can't give you a manager position right now. Like, you haven't earned it.
Right.
You haven't recruited anybody.
Right.
And I was like, I don't even want that, because some people just come into the industry just wanting all these things and like, it's like, give me this, give me that, but they haven't earned anything, right? So it's like I just came in and said, hey, I need to get into the office and become the best number 1 sales rep in the office, learn the system, learn the procedure. It's like learn the janitor role, learn how to do the dirty stuff that nobody wants to do, work yourself up. Because I feel like in our business, especially in direct sales, I can't recruit people and tell them, hey, look at my buddy Oscar. He's done all these sales. He's awesome. You should join my business. And it's like they're gonna be like, well, what have you done?
Yeah.
Where's your fruits of your labor, right? Where's your results? Where like in this business, like if you want to attract somebody and bring somebody in, you have to go out and do it yourself. You know what I mean, no one's gonna. A lot of people that join my business afterwards is because they saw my success.
Yeah.
Or still joining my business is because they see the lifestyle that I live now.
Right.
So it's like, again, back to like how to build an 8-figure business is like go out and work harder than outwork everybody. outwork everybody so that your team will respect you, everybody respect you, and then you attract those leaders. And then it's simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it. In anything you do is just learn how to sell that product, learn how to train people in that product and recruit people to do that. And then automate that if you can, or create systems where you can make that faster and better. And so I think that's why we're working so much this year, is just like, how do we we're just talking about how do we make the sales process better? How do we make the recruiting process better? How do we make the onboarding process better? I think that's a forever progression. Like, it's going to always you always have to make it better. You can't get comfortable with that. But
that's actually like, have you read Atomic Habits?
Yeah.
Where he talks about like the bike, like they took like the cyclist and they made like every single piece 1% better. Like they just took like the pedals, made them 1% better, the seat 1% better, the suit 1% better. And I think like, and then overall they won like the Tour de France like for 20 years or whatever the story was. So that's kind of like what that reminded me of, is like, just if you could get your training faster, your onboarding faster, your like recruiting done, like get them in through the system and successful faster, that's like making your bike more speedy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's systems are everything. That's what I've learned. You can go out there. The beautiful thing about this is you can go out there and just make $1 million by yourself. But it's like, if you can duplicate that and teach others how to do that, that's where real wealth and success and abundance comes from. How many people can you help?
Right, help do that. And that's what's dope about solar too. It's like, someone with no skills or no anything, no direction, no whatever, they could come in and like just start crushing it, get in the Ferrari and start going. Where like, if I were to like mentor someone in my business, it's like, it's going to take so long for them to like get to the level of skill, even with like the camera, and then like get to the level of sales and like build the relationships. And so it's like, it's a lot longer route to generate, the $1 million, let's say, than it is to just join a direct sales organization and just run. Because like, for me, it's like I could sell, right? I could sell, but then with any business besides direct sales, is you have to build the systems and the operations behind the product you're selling to fulfill it. And with direct sales, you could just like straight get in it, straight just sell, boom, 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 generate revenue, and not have to worry about operations. Like, that's crazy.
We were just talking about that. We were just talking about people take solar for granted. I think they're going to really take it for granted when it's not here anymore, or when these big corporations take over and you have to get it from like an Apple or an AT&T or Verizon, and you can't get it from like a Joe Schmo off the street that just can come in and sell solar, right? Mm-hmm. It's like you take it for granted, because if you go open up your own business, like you said, if I want to go open my construction business or my own landscaping business, I have to go buy a truck, lawnmower, gas for my lawnmower, an LLC, get all this stuff, get it ready. Then I have to go market go do all this.
Then sell it.
And in solar, you can just come in and literally go sell someone. And you have a construction company that's going to go do everything.
That's crazy,
and you don't have to take care of anything. And people still complain because they're like, oh, my construction company didn't do this right, didn't do this right. It's like, dude, all you did was sell the deal. Just get better at communicating with your branch or the construction people, and maybe they'll do a better job.
100%.
But just be great. I think like it's like you said, it's like, again, back to how do you build an eight-figure business? Stay in a grateful mindset about the whole process.
100%, bro. And yeah, and if you express gratitude to like the construction workers, the project managers, the like all this people, I guarantee you like your flow will be a lot easier. And that's how I feel is like when I hear a lot of people like, and granted things happen, you know what I mean? There's solar blood money, people lose pipelines, whatever the case may be. But like, I feel like if you're a sales rep and you're like partnered with an installer and you're just sitting there like, my projects aren't going anywhere. Like, well, fucking go do it, bro. Me, I would be at the fucking branch, bro. Like, who do I talk to? How do I get to, where do I got to go? Perfect. Bring them donuts. Add value to people's lives, and they will help you get your desired outcome. So I would be in that bitch like, you need a massage? You probably stressed, baby. Let me help you out. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and then you have all the reps that jump from solar companies because they're trying to find the perfect installer, but they're being the same person. They're complaining about the same situation, but they're not being proactive or resourceful, and they're not actually becoming a business owner and being like, what a business owner does is they make a relationship with their construction people. Right. They find out how the process works.
Right.
They dial in and say, hey, we can do this better. They're showing up to their branch and talking to their branch manager.
Right.
And they're like being appreciative instead of like demanding and I mean, there's a time
it's
where
a spoiled child.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And I've had those reps, and I was just like, I don't want those reps, because it's like the biggest thing in solar why things don't ever, or why business can't level up, is because there's no alignment between the construction side and the sales side.
Right.
You know, either they feel resentment towards one another, or they're getting mad at. But if like your guys on the sales side are taking care of these guys on the construction side, and vice versa.
Right.
We're on the same path. It's on the same path.
Yeah,
you know?
bro. That's
we can't do the job without you guys, and you guys can't do the job because we don't go out and knock doors. You get sales. You guys, we can't give you an hourly job to do a construction job and put deals in, so we have to lay you off.
Right.
But vice versa, if you don't do the job or actually do it correctly and put the same kind of energy you were putting into it, then, or you're doing shitty construction jobs, then we're not going to get referrals.
Right.
And people are going to look solar as a bad thing.
Yeah.
And so it goes hand in hand.
100%. And that's like what you're saying about like if the sales rep doesn't do a good job with like communicating with the homeowner, sells like it's all about setting expectations, like, you know what I mean? And I think that's what it is with just being happy overall in life, is like expectations. So as long as you present the right expectations and then you deliver on like what you said, then no one's ever going to be happy, unhappy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you tell someone like, oh yeah, this project's going to take a week, but really it's like takes 3 months, then of course they're going to be unhappy. But if you're like, hey, this might take 6 months, and then they get it in 3 months, they're stoked. It's the same situation.
Same situation.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, again, it's easy to speculate. But just like with my business experience and how I communicate with my clients and the stuff that I do, is both my uncles are like, you know, extremely successful, multimillionaires, probably close to 100 millionaires. And one of the things they told me, I was like, what can I do to be like a good business person? He's like, just do what you say you're going to do. Like, that's it. Just that easy. Like, whatever you say you're going to do, just do that. And you will be surprised how far that takes you. I was like,
crazy.
So all I got to do is just keep up my end of the bargain. Yeah. That's it. Like, that's so all you got to do.
It's crazy you say that, because, like, I'm always thinking about that. Like, I'm always thinking, like, what kind of example am I having on my team? Like, even when I'm away from my team traveling like this and going to other states and leaving, like, some of my offices, I'm always like, what could I do better? Or, like, when I get back, like, I'm going to grind this much harder. And it's like, I feel like this is a new season of my solar career, because it's more traveling, recruiting, and putting in different type of work in. But it's like like you said, like your uncle said, it's like, do what you said you're gonna do and still do the basics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, one thing I'll never stop doing is I'll never stop knocking doors. And I love recruiting new guys because it forces me to be out in the field with them and start brand new with them. You know what I mean?
Yo, when I'm in Oregon, let's hit some doors.
Let's do it.
I need to get a deal.
It's my favorite thing.
I need to get a deal in.
It's my favorite thing. I like itch to crack doors. I'm like, I gotta get a door. You know what I mean? It's like, if I'm not gonna knock that door, somebody else, when someone's gonna get that deal. Yeah. But I also realize, like, there's times and seasons for everything, and you have to know when it's time to level up and do different things.
Right, because now, like, it might not be the most valuable thing you could do in your business if you're hitting a door, because you have so many other things. Like, you could get 10 reps really onboarded and getting ready for their doors, and then they're hitting 10 times the doors that you could hit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, you're right. I think that's something that I struggle with, too. Like, even in my business, again, it's not the same, but, like, doing edits or certain things, like going to shoots or things that I probably shouldn't be doing, because I could be selling. I could be, like, hitting the list, cold calling, knocking doors, whatever, which would sell more, which would grow the organization. But I think the same, like, it's the thermostat thing, right? Like, you have to reprogram your thing. It's like, I like being here, whatever, but it's like, how do I get beyond that and push myself to go even further? You know what I mean? Because I've been cool, but I could be better.
Always, you can get
You know what I mean?
I think it's like try to remind myself every night, like, how much value am I adding to my team? So if I'm not knocking doors with them, or I'm in the field, if I'm not with them, what am I adding value outside of that to them, right? Or to my leaders that are running the sales meetings and things like. How am I adding value to myself so I can value to them? You have to add value somewhere.
Everywhere.
You know what I mean? So it's like you said, like, it's sometimes it's not. It's the ROI isn't there in me being on the doors with every new guy, because it's taken away from me, again, working on systems, managing, working on people's pipeline, making sure the branch is doing what they're supposed to be doing, helping my other teams in other states, growing, duplicating, right? But it's like, how am I adding value when I'm not on the doors as well, so that I can still be there for them?
Bro, and I think that this is obviously we're going to be working together for a while now, but like, I think putting out content every single day, like, you're on your team's necks, really. Like, because you could be like, you put out something that's a sales tip or something, self-development, and you're putting it out, and even though you're not in front of them, you're like, still, they're consuming what 100%. You're saying, and so your like energy, your soul is still penetrating them, and you're like top of mind for them, you know what I mean? So
100%.
they're like, so creating content is one of the like the most valuable tasks you could do at like higher level things. Like Ryan Pineda, this real estate dude, I don't know if you follow him or whatever.
Follower of Christ.
He said, he's like, dude, the most valuable thing I could do like is literally making content. And aside from that, he's like, maybe if I got to do some real estate stuff, like I'm not going to sell a deal unless it's like something where we got an exit strategy and it's like $10 million exit. Like, all right, maybe I'll spend some time doing that. But he's like, I need to be making content. That's like the highest value return
100%
piece of time.
100%. And I'm grateful for you because you're like my accountability partner for
I'm on
that.
your neck.
You're on my neck.
I'm on your neck.
Find people that literally are on your neck and want better for you and know how you can grow. Like
and they're in their realm of expertise, because it's not like I could teach you how to knock more doors or anything. I could teach you this shit, and I could put you on with this shit.
And it's awesome because it's like we're all a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah,
so
100%.
It's like we can't create the picture without each piece, and so it's
100%.
Like you're a piece of that puzzle for sure in my life and my career. So I'm really grateful for you, bro.
Bro, I'm grateful for you, and I mean, like, I think that's part of my identity is like I'm gonna hold up my end of the deal. Like I'm gonna pull up to your house and point the camera in your face, and I'll be like, I did my end of the deal. I don't matter. They can never say that I didn't hold up my end.
I did what my uncle said. I did what I told you I was gonna
do. I did it, Tio. I made it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. That's one thing that I really look up to is that like when you say something, you do it, man. Like a lot of people don't, and so like. I think I've worked with a lot of media guys and people in the like video and photography and like just companies who've said, hey, look, we're gonna get your product turnaround time, get that content, but like working with you, like you're on point, you're on time, you deliver faster than I can even say, hey, is the product ready? Like you're like I think one thing that you do really well that anyone can apply to their business is that you always try to go over your standards. Like you over give over expectations and what they expected. Like you just over deliver. That's what I was looking for. You over deliver, and that's I think in business, like you're like it makes you want to work with that person more, and it makes you want to be better.
That's dope, bro. I appreciate that, and it really like. It's crazy because I don't look at it like that, because I just like set the expectations. Like, this is what I could guarantee that you're going to get no matter what. And then once I get into it, I'll like tell my guys like, hey, if you have more time, just get like an extra 5 clips. Do it faster. Do like just give them more so they're more stoked. Because like if I could keep our clients happy, that means we keep revenue coming in, and that means you guys can keep getting paid. And then it keeps growing. Like, the cycle keeps coming, because like if you don't do a good job, they're not stoked, and then we lose them, then I can't pay you. Like, it's just, I'm going to be all right. You know what I mean? But, like, I can't keep providing that. So, like, to me, and again, that's maybe just like I feel it's like a deficiency in my character where I feel like I have to, like, obligation give more than I take for the fear of, like, losing the relationship or whatever.
I think that it's crazy how like your perspective is like you look at that as a deficiency, but that's actually a strength, because there's so many businesses or individuals who run businesses who actually just do the minimum, and like they're doing really well in their business, but they just do the minimum.
Right.
But a lot of clients will stick with them or just be with them because they've just that's what they expect. They don't know. But then they find someone like you and they're like, oh, wow. Like
this is crazy.
This is.
Well, yeah. I mean, but it comes from like a people pleaser thing, which like, again, it's like, I grew up as like my dad was like abusive, alcoholic, drunk, and he like took us away from my mom when I was
Welcome to the
like
club.
6. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's nothing special.
It's so funny, bro.
But as a survival mechanism, like you become like a chameleon, you know what I mean? You like say or do things to like for survival to like make sure that he's happy, or you do things, same thing in like high school, like or whatever, like you do whatever you got to do to be cool or influential.
Yeah.
And then you become a chameleon, and then you say yes, like, I mean, this is my personal journey, but like say yes to things you don't really necessarily want to do just for like to be accepted.
Yeah.
And then that's like evolved into like whatever, I guess, like turn your strengths into weaknesses. And that's something that I apply into to business now or whatever.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. I feel like it's funny. We have a lot of the same background, alcoholic father and, just domestic violence. Like that builds strength. If you don't come from that, you're weak.
You're weak ass.
You're weak. No. It just makes you want to be such a better father.
Yeah,
you know
100%.
I mean? And it makes you realize what you don't want to be.
100%.
But I feel like coming from that, again, survival mode, you said, right? You, as you get older, you overextend yourself because you're just like, yes. And,
Yeah.
For a long time, I was a yes man in my business, but I realized becoming a yes man, it's more of a hindrance because I'm overstretching myself and I'm not really serving people like I need to be. Right. But that did serve me for a long time because like it makes you like accomplish things that you didn't really think you could accomplish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
But then as you get older and as you have a family and you start valuing your time more, you start realizing that that's more of a hindrance. You know what I mean? And then also once your level of value starts getting higher, you start realizing it's like only you have to be more exclusive.
100%.
You can't say yes to everybody. You have to be more exclusive. And that makes you more valuable as well.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's a great point, is like what I was going to say is your family, you start to internally value yourself and see that your worth and your value, and with that exclusivity, like people want you even more, but then they have to meet your requirements. It's like, you know what I mean? I don't work with everyone either. Like they have to just meet the requirements. It's like, are we a good vibration? Because the thing is, it's like an energy exchange. There's a bajillion camera people or whatever. Like I don't think anyone could do what I do because I have systems and operations, but also like I've worked with a ton of people that just like stress me out, where like same thing what you're saying is like just work with people where you give each other energy and you feel stoked after, they feel stoked, you're charged up, everybody's happy, it's a win-win. So it's like it's not worth working with people that are like just gonna stress you out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, your time is so valuable, man, and you're valuable, and like you said, you nailed it. You'll work with who you want. At this point, you get to work with who you want to.
Yeah.
Not because you have to, like when you're starting your business, you're like, yes, I'll take you.
Yeah.
But now as you get to pick and choose, which is really cool. And then you can raise the value of yourself. Everything goes up.
Yeah.
The price went up, baby. The price
Yesterday's price is not today's price, cuz.
The price went up, cuz.
Inflation went up. Bro, what's it? I don't know what it's at, but everything 25% more.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. I've walked away from business, man. Now, like, I'm at the point where, like, hey, like, it's not worth it for me. Like, customers, like, I have to spend 2-3 months with you to help you on this journey. Right. But if you want the cheapest deal and you're already acting like this and you're taking energy from me, then go get it from somebody else. Yeah. Because the same time and effort, I could have gained more business.
100%.
And that's giving more energy.
Right.
And it's not taken away from me.
Right.
And at the end of the transaction, I literally gave the system away because you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you didn't see the value in it. So if you don't see the value from the get-go, you're not going to see the value ever. It's not
a good fit. Yeah. Or just refer them like, hey, I might not be your guy, but this is a guy that might help you out. Here you go. Boom. Send it to the enemy.
And then get a cut. Give me the referral. Yeah. Right?
There you go. You know what I mean? You get broken off the referral and you keep it pushing.
That's so funny.
That's funny, bro. Yeah. Well, man, I think it's been great. You have anything else you want to say to the people, bro? Like, I mean, I could sit here all day. We could keep going.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wish we had a camera on us all the time. I feel like we have podcasts with each other without even like
just in regular eating lunch.
Yeah, just bar. Yeah, I'd say just double down on yourself this year, 2024. Have more faith in yourself. Have more exclusivity to yourself. Make yourself valuable, and go out there. And this is a bar that I heard while I was on vacation with my family in Mexico this year. I was actually a public motivational speaker I met at the pool. I think he was from Atlanta, but he was just like, we connected on so many levels. But he was just like, and it was a good reminder. It's like it's so easy this last year. 2023, I felt like I'm so grateful. I have a lot of loyalty, a lot of people in my business, but I also lost people in my business because of just, things happen, and it's feel like that happens. Turnover happens in your business, but also a lot of awesome people. When that door closes, other great people come into your business, right? And I think it's, you don't humble yourself if you say, oh, I have no one leaves my business or whatever. No, if you think you're the perfect leader, you're actually not the right leader, right? You're not going to be
Yeah,
perfect for everybody. People are going to leave your business,
Yeah.
and you're not going to agree with people, and that's okay,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you have to wish people the best, depart them the best, and be like, love you, bro. And my relationship with my people who work for me is never based on business. It's just always on relationship. Business is just a plus,
Yeah.
right? And if it was always based on business, then that's not a real friendship,
Right.
right? So it's like, it's not ever about just making money off people. It's like helping them, and if they can find a better opportunity, awesome. But I'd say the biggest advice is like, I think I lost track as a leader. I was so focused on like the vision that I had and what I want for other people, where I didn't take time last year to really focus on the people in my inner circle, like especially some of my high elite leaders that are really valuable that I've worked for years with, and really focus on like their needs and like, hey, let's find out what you're working towards and what you want, and make that just as much as a desire for me than just for them as well. And it's like halfway through the year when these people left my business, I'm like, dude, like, what did this person really want, or what were they looking for? And
Yeah.
it's like maybe I was so focused on like envisioning what I thought this person could be or where they could be at, or like putting them into a position or a place in my life where I saw them, but like you're not taking enough time to do one-on-ones with these people or really serve them and help them get what they want, what they need. So it's like the advice that I got from him was like, really find out what the people who you're trying to serve and elevate, what they want and what they want to acquire, not just physically, like if they want
Right.
things,
Material.
but who they want to be or who they need to help or what they need to accomplish. Like maybe I have a buddy on my team who just wants to be sober this whole rest of the year and just get in better shape. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I also focus on helping him make money that I wasn't there to like hold him accountable or be there or go to the gym with him and things. It's like you can serve your people outside of business and other
Right.
things, and by default, it's going to help them with their business.
Right.
But you're so focused on like, again, the practical things are like, are you knocking doors? Or are you doing this in your business? Are you doing this? But it's like, if, like you said, if you're helping them with the inner work, by default, the outer work's going to get done.
100%.
So it's like, that's my biggest takeaway is just really focus. If you're a business owner, if you have a team or you serve others, whatever, is really figure out the people that are helping you get to the level you want, find out what their needs are and help them get there.
And that's also like a sales bar too, because like a consumer, right? Like you got to figure out what they actually want and then give them what they want.
We get so sidetracked, right? It's like, go back to the basics.
Back to the basics.
Sales
bro.
is everything. Your wife, you're trying to get her to be your wife. You have to sell her, find out what she wants. Make sure it meets your needs. Your kids, you're trying to like sell them on becoming a good kid. Sell them, It's everything sales, bro.
Everything is sales, bro. Well, you know what's crazy? Again, we're supposed to end it, but now we're going on. I got a new thing that's gonna open up something crazy. Is my wife is like an alpha, like she's an alpha person, right? Like she's a leader and amongst her community or whatever, and like I'm an alpha amongst like my community or whatever. Like I lead people, and I think the biggest dynamic struggle is like we have a vision and we're going to create a reality moment to moment. Every single person's creating a reality moment to moment. And like I might have a vision for this reality for the next moment and she has a vision for another reality in the next moment. And then there's like, that's where the conflict is. And then we have to like, resolve that and create next reality that's congruent for both of us. And sometimes like, it's her reality she wanted to have, and then sometimes it's my reality that I needed to have or whatever. So I don't know if you experience any that level of stuff with your like significant other.
100%. Yeah, I mean, it's I think it's the programming that we get as children and that we have to battle as like when you move in with that person, you're living with them. It's like, even as a father, when you start seeing your kids do things and how you react to them when they make mistakes or things like that, you're like, my wife, I catch her, she catches me. And we're like, whoa, like our reality perception is totally different. Like we have to, like it's subconsciously, we just do things.
Right.
You know what I mean? That we're like, whoa, like we're being just like our parents. And
right.
We're just being like that. So it's like, maybe like, I know how like my father and mother-in-law, like where they got where they are. I look up to them, right? Because they're immigrants and they've been able to do so much and they're leaders in their community. But it's like, that might have worked for them, but I know that's not going to work how they raise their kids for me and my wife. And so like how she does things is she takes a lot of that programming from her parents. How
Mm-mm.
she like we tackle problems, things like that. So we have to catch each other and be like, hey, like I'm not saying that's wrong, but like
Right.
is it serving us and it helping us?
Right.
Same thing with me and my parents. Like the things that I learned from my parents, are they serving and helping us? We have to sort of like deprogram ourselves and be like, hey, yeah, we're like this, but we have to find a way that serves both of us to get to our goal, and maybe deprogram or
Obedient, and you know what I
yes,
mean, like
yeah,
that's all self mastery, and
yeah,
it's not everyone's journey to like
yeah,
try to do that. But I think when you get to like really high levels of self mastery, you could control all kinds of stuff, like your blood pressure, you know what I
everything,
mean, you could
yeah,
probably cool your temperature down,
yeah,
you could like slow your breathing, you
yep,
could cure cancer, like
you,
that's all
dude,
in your control.
100%, 100%, 100%. But you and Judy are awesome, man. You guys are. It's like you guys have been able to accomplish so much. I've loved watching your guys' journey. But yeah,
Yeah, we're building the Ferrari. We didn't jump into a sales org Ferrari, but
yeah,
it's crazy because we keep having this conversation where it's like, yo, okay, these are our desired goals. Like this is
yeah,
the life we want to live and the things we want. It's like, why are we struggling so hard to build a Ferrari? And like we do well, like you know what I mean. But it's like if you put all that same energy in a Ferrari, we would have all the desired outcomes.
yeah,
But I think like everyone has their own passion. Like I have the passion of like an artist, kind of. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because this is art to a degree. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like
huge,
a creative
huge.
art, and I used it to leverage what I can do. So I think that there's no excuse. It doesn't matter how you get
No,
to the vision. You know what I mean?
no, no.
So just
Yeah,
get to the vision.
yeah. I've obviously we've both reached a level of success. We both acquired things, spiritually and physically, right?
Right.
Because of our efforts and the value that we brought to the marketplace. But it's like crazy this year, like especially like once you start acquiring some of the physical things, like like the car you wanted or you got
Right.
the house you wanted. It's like it's just you realize it's like it's only fulfilling to a certain extent. You're like,
Right.
cool, but this is just physical.
Right.
Like you have to like, I guess like a lot of people feel like I'm not where I'm at because I don't have those physical things or I don't have
Right.
it. It's like you have to be like I love that saying and I know it's niche to say, but enjoy the journey more than the result.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes I feel like we get frustrated because we don't have the result yet, but it's like we're not realizing how beautiful the process
Yeah.
really is. And just because you're like, dang, I haven't found the process or the process isn't perfected, and it's like I don't have the result, or maybe like you're stealing yourself from your identity because you're always comparing yourself to people on social media that have those things
Right.
or got there faster. And you
Right.
think they got there faster because they have the physical things, but you might be ahead of them way more in spiritually, mentally,
Right.
and emotionally intelligence. Like you might be way ahead of them, but they
Right.
have those things, but you don't. Behind the scenes, those
They
people
might
are
not
just
be happy.
they're miserable.
Yeah,
They don't
yeah.
have those things.
And so this is kind of like how I feel. I don't have like a $10 million portfolio or anything, but I feel like my consciousness and like my expansion of it, like I feel like I'm really close. Like I feel it like at my fingertips, and it's like I feel like mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, like I'm in this space, and
Yeah.
all it takes is one like apartment complex deal or
Dude,
something. You know what I mean?
that's
And
it.
then just all of a sudden,
Yeah.
everything. And that's only one aspect of it. It's
Yeah.
financial,
Yes.
right? You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
only one metric to
Yeah.
track. But like again, like when I remove myself from just the financial metric, like
Yeah.
I have a really dope life. Like, you know what I mean? Like I love my family. I love how I spend my time. I love who I spend my time with. Like I get to spend time with you and Steve and like really only high level people, and I'm able to create value with them with the camera. But like I love what I do. I love, I have a cool looking car. My house is pretty nice. Like, you know what I mean? I got cool shit. I got some cool watches.
You go to
like...
third world country, you're like, yo, I am very grateful for what I have.
I ate today.
I didn't get locked up because I dissed the person in charge in my country, right? My opposition.
That's some, yeah.
You know what I
that's
mean?
some
Like
other...
just things like that. I can voice my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, but I agree with you 100%. I feel like, we do a lot of personal development. It's like you have to be the person and have it mentally and internally before you have it physically. But
Right.
like I see that 100% in you and the people that we surround ourselves with. The only reason we're where we're at is because we knew we didn't have it, we knew we were gonna have it physically before we had it physically.
100%.
We internally believed it, manifested it, and knew it. And it's funny, those people, every year someone falls out of your life, right?
Right.
It's usually the people who aren't on that same level with you,
Right.
or they stop believing, or
Right.
they start hindering you or doubting, and you're like,
Right.
I just don't want that in my life,
Right.
because you're either adding to my life or taking away from my goals or what I need to do.
Right. They just lose track of the vision. And
Yeah.
like what you're, bro, there's moments like going back to your story where like, you know what I mean, your car gets repossessed, you're like, don't know how you're going to pay rent or whatever. And people, I mean, personally for me, like this 2023 was like one of those types of years where a lot of people fell off around me because I was the one providing for them. And then when times got hard, like they were like there was nothing for them to take from me, so they just stopped fucking with me, you know what I mean? So then like, and again, a level of that is my responsibility as an employer to be able to always provide for like the people around me. But it made me realize like, bro, no one's gonna put you on, like I have to put on myself. And then when I have an overabundance, I could put on people around me. And it's just a good perspective, like that you just have to like always, you know what I mean, not lose faith. Like you can't, because like what this is how I was going to tie it back, is like you didn't lose faith, bro. You were like in, you know what I mean, car repossessed, what, you know what I mean, didn't know how you were going to make the next play, but you're like, I don't know how, I have faith. And it comes through, you know what I mean?
Faith, man, faith.
And I read this thing in this, it's called The Three Magic Words. This book is sick. And it talks about like faith is, it starts with belief. It starts with belief, like you believe you could do something, like, oh, I think I could do that, right? And then you have faith, like, which then what happens is you switch into conviction of knowing, like, okay, I'm gonna get that. Like I went from believing to having faith, and then after faith, it's a knowing. Like I just know that that's the play. Like I just know. Like I don't believe it because I know. Like you know what I mean. So like it's really dope that you have that quality as well.
Thank you. So I appreciate it. All glory to God. All glory to God. Starts with your faith and everything. Yeah, yeah. I really appreciate. This has been awesome.
Yeah, bro.
Great conversation. I'm looking forward. Hopefully, I get invited again. I'd love to drop.
Yeah, bro. You're gonna be in Vegas every month, so we're gonna have to do this every month, bro.
I need more content.
Yeah, we'll do more solo stuff for you. Yeah. But this is we're gonna get a lot of really dope shit for you.
It's really cool to hear. I feel like every time I sit down with you, I hear more of your story too, which is really cool.
So, likewise, brother. Well, bro, it's been great. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Where can the people find you?
Berto.gl, Instagram. Right now, working under the very best. All roads lead to pros. Solar Pros, Freedom Forever. And also, connect with Oscar if you want to find who I am, where I'm at. He'll connect you with me and Facebook, Berto GL. And yeah, just here to serve, help serve, elevate, and dominate the marketplace.
Let's go. If anybody needs a solar plug, you want a new opportunity, hit your boy up.
Absolutely. Water too.
Water. We still got the water too.
What you need? Water. We got solar. What you need?
Anything for your house, bro.
Anything for your house.
I got you.
Thermostat. We whatever you need. We'll find the connect for you.
We'll make it work. All right, bro. It's been great. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Let's go.